Welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. This is the LBF-01 Gen 2. All that says is large bush folder 01 Generation 2 by Half Breed Blades. Now, it's in CPM 3V. We've got some really stout G10 right here. We're going to do this video in real time. The reason for that is there's several things I want to cover on this knife. Now, I believe it weighs in at 13 ounces. We'll double check that. So it's an absolute beast. I have carried it every single day for the past month. Here's the unique thing. I haven't cut anything with it. I did that intentionally. A knife this large, I wanted to see how it carried, one. And two, it has the links, L-I-N-Q, lock. So when they sent the knife, and Half Breed sent this for me to check out, forever appreciative of them. Not the first time they've sent stuff. When they sent it, the gentleman's like, hey man, listen, this thing is tight. It starts off very tight. It'll loosen up over time. I'm glad he said that because he wasn't lying. Now, doing these videos in real time, and we'll give you a look there. Not a deep carry, but pretty deep. Got a lanyard hole if you're into that. It's got a couple bow drivet deals there. I'm glad he said that because when this thing first started, it was a two-handed opening all the way, a two-handed closing. Now, you've seen I'm able to open it and close it. The size of the knife is a big knife. It fills up the hand. But again, thumb studs here, push up, and it's still tight. But in my mind, when somebody says, Scab, it's going to be tight, son. Well, thank you for the heads up. Now, the links lock, now I'm going to get back here. We can see it. Let me see. Let me move my hand. All right. See this lever? Lever right here. Pull it down. Do like that. Now I'm leaning over looking at it. Let's move in here. Give you a good lucky look. Here's the thing. I've carried it that much and that long. Now look. To get used to the weight, which I carry big pocket knives, but just play with it. Haven't cut anything. I wanted to save the cutting for this video. I think that's important. It's got a very nice edge on it. I'm going to call it a toothy edge. I don't know how good a look you can get there. When we get outside, we'll check it more. It's got a finger choil here for that up close work. You can see the jimping there, a slight ramp here that I like personally. I like the ergos of the handle. Fills up the hand. But right here, even there, now I'm squeezing there. When I flip it and squeeze there, the clip does not bother me at all. I like that. Some of that is having dead hands. Let's go outside and cut a bunch of shit up. I might open this video up with some cutting. Just reasons I hadn't done any cutting with it is because I wanted to test it out and on the camera and just see what we got. Now this is that 1-inch inner diameter 4-ply sandblast hose. This is some stout shit, son. I mean, it just is. And you can see right here, honestly, the knife's not really having any problem with it. I'm going to give you a good up-close look if you're new to the channel. I'll give you kind of a look at, this is 4-ply sandblast hose. This is some stout shit, son. Let's put it down and do a quick slice like this. Now, I'm not a fan of doing this because it's a pain in the ass, but in the interest of science. See, this one thing I like about this knife a lot is the damn handle's thick enough. It's not hurting my hand. We're going right through it. And when I say right through it, guys, you're going, well, it's struggling. The reason it's struggling is because it's 1/4-inch walls of 4-ply sandblast hose. But we're going, this is about the third cut because what we're doing is more of a spiral type cut, so it's not just cutting at once. We'll come here. Now again, the steel's in 3V. Just take it right here and do a little work. Another thing that I'm really fond of with Half Breed is their coatings. The way they coat their blades. It is a stiff, stout coating. My background is in coatings, and so that's a big thing to me. You rarely see any damage from it. It's just a hell of a coating. They do a great job. Do a couple of drops here. Now, one of the reasons I want to do this job is the links lock. Again, it's LINQ. See if that affects it. Now, I'm not hammering the back of the spine. I hate that test. It's nothing I'll ever do in real life. So we ain't doing it. Somebody else will do it. Now, this piece of 2-inch ratchet strap. One of the things, guys, and I don't think people realize this, because people are like, oh, my knife will cut that ratchet strap. Sure it will. And if I got a long one, I could take a long piece of ratchet strap and go through it like butter. When you start getting them short pieces, it's a different tune. It's a good way to really check your edge. Cut a little extension cord. A lot of the times with half-breed, they're doing like military, law enforcement type applications. So some of the stuff we do, like the extension cord and things like that, makes a little more sense. Plus, I work in an industrial setting. Now, one of the reasons that I can drop it like that is this choil. My finger's here and I catch it there. So, and it's something you do need to be aware of. And again, it's a bigger knife. But I've been impressed with this sumbitch so far. Not only just a little bit of cutting that I've done. That's not what I'm talking about, carrying it for a month. You barely know it's there. I am still working on it, loosening up. You got some good fullers there. I like it. All right, guys, this is, now you can see still, now they told me about this. It's still having some problems opening, but that will work itself out. This is the LBF O1 Gen 1. This is Kirk's S35VN. Can you see both of them?
Yeah.
Some immediate differences: titanium handle scales versus G10. The locking mechanism, liner lock here, links lock here. I am going to do some research on the links lock for everybody. This one is considerably heavier. Kirk's going to allow me to take it and I'll get a weight on it, but it's S35VN, CPM 3V. Now, I've asked Kirk, as we go in this video, to add just some commentary, some things he sees different, things he likes, may not like, etc. As we go. I can tell you, just by looking at the handle scales, the titanium seem a little smoother. I like titanium personally, but that does seem a little smooth. And you've got the textured stuff here. So let's do some drops. Now you noticed a significant difference in the weight, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which do you prefer?
The Gen 2.
Because of the weight?
Because of the weight. I don't ever carry the Gen 1 because of the weight. It's just too damn heavy and bulky. I like the knife. Other than the weight and the bulk of the handle scales, I like the knife. I would carry it, but it's too much.
And one of the reasons too with this, and we're doing some hard downward throws and things like that, is to see if the scales loosen up. What I'm envisioning, since there's no connection between the lever that you can see, is that it runs up the sides. Kirk and I were talking, neither one of us are very patient or have the small motor skills at this point with busted up hands to really break one down. But I'm going to see if I can get a schematic for you guys. One thing I noticed here too, Kirk, was here. Pinch grip. Mm-hmm. It contours a little bit.
Yeah, it's got the cutout for the thumb.
I like the fullers. Now does this one have? The opening of this one is smooth as silk.
Yeah.
And you can see there, guys.
I do wish they would have kept the flipper for the Gen 2, but
I wonder
for me it's not a deal breaker.
Yeah. I wonder if they could do that with the links lock. I wonder if that's...
I don't know. Maybe that's something with that particular lock. It won't work. I have no idea. I've never heard of that lock until now, so...
Me either.
I don't know anything about it.
It seems to be holding up pretty good, just with regular use.
Uh-huh.
It came sharp as shit, but now so did the Gen 1. We did a review of the Gen 1, right?
You did shortly after I got it. I don't really remember how much you did with it.
Now we opened up the video, just kind of going over the different shit, but let's see here. I'll tell you what we'll do real quick, guys. Air potato. Now, the skin on these things is kind of like a regular potato, so it's not going to peel like an apple. So we're going to be careful. But I do like the sharpness. And here's the truth. When you hold them both in hand, I like bigger knives as much as I like that Gen 1. It is heavy, way heavy. This thing, I'm not going to say it's half the weight because I don't know that that's true. But the difference is definitely noticeable.
It's considerably lighter.
Considerably. And I've carried this, Kurt. What I was going to say is, and I've said this a couple times in the video, I've carried it for a month. Without, I didn't really cut anything because I just wanted to loosen up the lock. But it, honestly, see if we can bring the camera over a little bit, Kurt. And guys, I know this is a longer video. It's meant to be. Sometimes you just need to do that. A folder like this, something this size, if you're going to take it with you, you want it to be able to do multiple tasks. Of course, there's always the ever famous self-defense one. And I'm going to say with that, like I say on every knife, when people ask if you can defend yourself, unless you're a moron, yeah.
I know with the Gen 1, you can just throw it at them and it'll immediately kill them.
But you want a knife, or I'll tell you what I'll look for. Like when I go camping, when I do those type of things, I do like carrying a heavier folder. Even though if it's just cutting, food prep, fire making, things like that, I still like having the weight. There's a level of comfort in that. You do have to kind of develop a skill set around it. I like this knife, man. I mean, I like everything about it. I don't know, and honestly, and I have to be careful. You always, I always feel a little bit of pressure to find something I don't like, because Half Breed does send some knives for me to check out. But the thing is, I like their knives.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie and say I don't. Or just find something, I'm not that guy that's going to find something to find something. Maybe there's something I don't like. I ain't seen it yet. The one thing I'd like better, and I'll be honest, and Half Breed, if you're watching, the only thing that I would like better is I do like that flipper. I will say that. Just for being able to manipulate the knife if you need it quickly at work. Do our little boot test right here. Like I say, guys, what I look for in a folder, and it's not every folder. The more I do this, the more kind of purpose driven it gets. For me, this will be a folder that I do carry, that I do use, especially getting out on the trail, getting out in the woods, kayaking, camping, etc. Because it's a little heavier, it's got some weight. I know I got it with me, but honestly, it's accomplished kind of everything I needed it to. All I want to do right here, let's see if we can whip up a quick tent stake. I'm really impressed with that handle, man. It's just really comfortable. So we could go with a tent stake or a punji stick, whatever you need. Now, Kurt, where were you looking for these at? I know they have them on their website.
I looked Knife Center, Blade HQ, DLT, I think Smoky Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure when they're dropping, guys. There is a price difference if you get it from Half Breed Blades, and that simply might be to push you to some other vendors. I'll try to keep up. I know, I think they sold out of a bunch of them. I know there's some on their site, so you can check there.
I couldn't find one.
Could you not on Half Breeds?
I didn't look on Half Breeds.
All right. I'll try to keep you guys posted on that. And one of the things too, guys, with this, I wanted to do it, like I said, in real time. I wanted to make sure Kurt was present because he has carried the Gen 1. Actually, if it wasn't for Kirk, I'd have never heard of half-breed, or it would have taken me longer. And he let me do some of my first demonstrations on them, so it's always good to getting that opinion of somebody who's been around a lot of half-breed. The one thing that I do see with this knife that I really like is it does seem to be made for bigger tasks. Some people are just hell-bent on a fixed blade. Man, I get it. This started off as primarily just a fixed blade channel, so I understand it. But I also know with half-breed, they've made some really, 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 really tough shit, and they stand behind their shit. So it, you know, a little bit of brush clearing, a little bit of punji stick making, the boot test. Doop, doop. I stole this from Kev over at Peterbilt Knife Guy. It's kind of a fun folder. Damn truck of a folder, I know that. We'll carry this one long term, and we'll come back and do some long term reviews on it too. Let me show y'all how it rides in my pocket before we head back to the crib to cut some paper. Can you see that, Kurt, on camera? Mm-hmm. So that's how it rides. I've carried this legit for a month, maybe longer. Guys, I like larger pocket knives. I don't really feel much of a difference. I'll get you a difference in weight on the Gen 1 and Gen 2. Well,
all right, man.
So here's the deal, guys. Forward. After using it and using it and using it a lot today and carrying it for a month, the thing that I ask myself all the time is this: would I carry it? Well, it's going in the rotation. It'll be in the pocket tomorrow. This is a knife that I enjoy using. Now, we looked up the weight on the Gen 1. It's 16.64 ounces. This one was 13 or a little under. Those 3 ounces, when you compare them side by side, they actually do feel different. But the thing is this: the way this thing's weighted, the way it handles, it's just a fun knife. Now, everybody will always run to somebody's website. Half-breed blades, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I believe they do is they charge a little higher on their MSRP to push you to their retail. Maybe wrong in that, but they've got them listed over 4. I know there were some sites that had them listed over 3. Check them out. Again, now, in all fairness and all sincerity, I am a Half-Breeds fanboy. I always have been, long before they sent anything for me to check out, because they just build heavy-duty shit. And when I say that, what I'm telling you is, for what I do, okay? I'm not trying to break the knife. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But I can break an anvil just in my daily walk. So that happens. Guys, real quick, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. Coming out of the holidays, those numbers were higher. They'd run up around 29 to 35. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you have a place here. Guys, I back the blue. That is not popular. And I'll be honest with you, if you just listen to what's out there on social media and the news, all you see is negative, and there's some of that there. That's why I believe in accountability. I'm not asking you to support it. Wouldn't dream of it. Some of you just can't, and I get it. The whole back the blue till it happens to you. Well, it's happened to me more than it'll happen to you, I promise you. And finally, if you are an addict, then I am. Never quit quitting. Half-breed blades, LBF O1 Gen 2. I'm kind of digging it. You'll see a lot more of this knife. I'm Scab. You're not. Megatron's getting some burgers ready. We gone, son. Love y'all.